My friend owes me $500, but he won't pay up. What should I do? Do you have any proof that he owes you the money? Nope. Okay, then send him a text asking for the $5,000 that he owes you. But it's only $500. Exactly, that's what he'll respond with, then you'll have your proof. Class, what do we call people that steal? Robbers. Good, now what do we call people who keep talking when we're no longer interested? Teachers. What's the difference between a piano, tuna, and a pot of glue? I'm not sure. You can tune a piano, but you can't piano a tuna. What about the glue? I knew you'd get stuck there. 2 times Google Maps saved lives. One day Sander Cochler was on his way to work when an ex-employee named John Charles kidnapped him. He said their boss owed him money, so he wanted to use Sander to set up a meeting with him. When John left the room, Sander used Google Maps to send his location to his boss. When his boss got his location, he called the police and drove there immediately. John was then arrested and sentenced to 8 years in prison. When Saru was 5 years old, he got on a runaway train in India which separated him from his family. He had to start a whole new life by himself, and he searched for his family for 23 years. Since he was so young at the time, he couldn't remember where they lived. The only thing that he could remember is that his hometown was closed off by 2 bridges. When Google Maps came out, he used it to find the 2 bridges and he found them. He then traveled to his hometown and was reunited with his family.
My mom left me in the car, and now this guy keeps staring at me.
I got married. Oh, that's good. No, that's bad. She's ugly. Oh, that's bad. No, that's good. She's rich. Oh, that's good. No, that's bad. She won't give me money. Oh, that's bad. No, that's good. She bought me a big house. Oh, that's good. No, that's bad. The house burnt down. Oh, that's bad. No, that's good. She was in it. Dad, do you know how to write in the dark? I think so. What do you want me to write? Just 1 second. Can you sign this report card for me? Sir, I pulled you over just now because you were driving way too fast. I was just trying to keep up with the traffic. But there isn't any traffic. I know, that's how far behind I am. I like your dress. Really? Yeah, and your lipstick looks amazing. Thank you. Your makeup also looks really good. Aw, thanks. But you're still ugly. 5 emojis that you've been using wrong, part 2. You may have seen this in comic books before where it means bam. But when texting, it means the person you're talking to has lost their temper or is out of control. Apart from meaning ban, the X emoji also symbolizes a kiss. This emoji is a Japanese ogre named Namahage, which drives away evil spirits. This emoji represents the mask of Tengu, which is a demon from the Japanese mythology. It's used to tell the person you're texting with that they're being arrogant. This emoji means no good. In Asian countries, it's often shortened to these 2 letters. Here's 5 everyday things that you didn't know the purpose of. The number 57 on Heinz ketchup bottles. According to Heinz, only 11% of people know that it has nothing to do with the product label. It's actually a sweet spot to tap on to get the sauce onto your plate. Childproof bottle caps. Everyone knows plastic medicine bottles come with childproof caps. But if there's no children around, you could flip the cap upside down and it's no longer childproof. The arrow next to the fuel tank. The arrow actually points to which side of the vehicle the fuel tank's on, which is really handy if you're renting a vehicle. The little slot at the end of tape measures. The slot can be held on nails when you're measuring, so you don't need anyone else to hold it. The ridge is on the F and J keys. These are there so your index fingers can locate other keys with muscle memory, making it easier to type. Here's 5 everyday things that you didn't know the purpose of. Number 1, the hole in pot handles. Most people use it to hang pots and pans, but it can also be used to hold spoons when you're cooking so you don't make a mess. Number 2, the groove on the bottom of mugs. The grooves are designed so when you place it upside down in the dishwasher, it allows water to flow out rather than spill all over your feet when you take it out. Number 3, the hole in pen caps. The hole is there to allow airflow so if someone swallows it, they won't choke. Number 4, pom-poms on beanies. This style was made for French sailors so they wouldn't hit their head on the ceilings of ships that were low. Number 5, the tiny buttons on jeans. These tiny buttons are called rivets and are placed in spots that are most likely to fall apart. 5 illegal things you've done before. Using a fake name online, whether it's for Instagram, an online game, or a survey. You could be charged for the federal crime of hacking, which is 5 to 20 years in prison. Watching movies on free websites. Unless it's a paid service like Netflix, most free websites won't have a license to the show or movie. Connecting to a public Wi-Fi. If you've connected to an unprotected Wi-Fi that isn't a restaurant, then it's illegal because you're using a service that someone else is paying for. Using social media when you're underage. To use apps like Instagram, Snapchat, and YouTube, you legally have to be 13 or older. And for WhatsApp, you have to be 16 or older. Finally, sharing subscription passwords with friends. In 2016, a law was made that you need permission from the website before sharing your password or else it's illegal. 5 people who won the food lottery part 5. This person got a grape with 8 of them fused together. This person opened their banana peel and found 2 of them in there. This person got a really big fry. This person got a really big Lucky Charm. And this person got a strawberry the size of their palm. 5 people who won the food lottery part 6. This person found a potato chip the same size as the bag. This person found a giant chip in their ice cream. This person found an extra large egg. This person's ice cream sandwich came with another half. And this person's pepper had peppers growing inside of it. 5 people who won the food lottery part 7. This person grew braided carrots in their garden. This person ordered a McDouble from McDonald's and got 3 patties instead of 2. This person got 4 Reese's peanut butter cups in a pack of 3. This person got a clump of cinnamon in their cereal. And this person got a giant clump of Flamin' Hot seasoning. 5 people who won the food lottery part 11. This person found 2 fruit by the foots in 1 package. This person got a bun from McDonald's covered in seeds. This person got 9 pieces of cereal stuck together to make 1 big square. This person got an extra hot dog. And before I tell you the craziest one about this goldfish, I found this app that reads the lines on your palm and tells you what it means. Just press the button on my profile to get it. Finally, this person got a goldfish 3 times the size. 5 people who won the food lottery part 12. This person got a banana the size of their forearm. This person got a lemon way bigger than their hand. This person found a pearl in the oyster that they were eating. This person grew a carrot that looks like a hand. Now before I tell you the craziest one about this gummy bear, I found this app that boosts your Snapchat and makes it look like this. Just press the button on my profile to get it. Finally, this person found a wizard in their pack of gummy bears. 5 people who won the food lottery. This person got a massive fry the same size as the bag. This person got a strawberry the size of their palm. This person found a smaller grape in the grape that they were eating. This person got 4 chips linked together. Now before I tell you the craziest one about this Sour Patch Kid, I found this app that lets you prank your friends and family by changing their text messages. Just press the button on my profile to get it. Finally, this person found the King Sour Patch Kid. 5 people who won the food lottery. When this person cracked an egg, a smaller one came out of it. This person found that in their pack of Skittles. This person got blueberries the size of a quarter. This person got a Kinder Egg with 2 layers of chocolate. And this person found 5 peanuts in 1 shell. 3 people who beat the system. After this person's landlord said they couldn't paint the walls in their apartment, they decided to get paint strips and cover the walls. This person's teacher won't let them eat in class, so they filled an empty lip balm with cheese so they could sneak it in. This person was only allowed to have a 1-page cheat sheet, so they wrote a whole page of notes in red pen, then another page in blue pen. Then they brought 3D glasses to class, so when they looked through the red side they could see the red pen, and when they looked through the blue side they could see the blue pen. 3 places you're not allowed to visit. In Atlanta, Georgia, they made this vault to hide the recipe for Coca-Cola. And legend has it that only 2 or 3 employees actually know the ingredients. The people who live on North Sentinel Island are known for firing flaming arrows and throwing rocks at tourists. So the government decided it's off limits. This vault in Norway holds thousands of seeds for every plant on Earth, which could restore the Earth if there is ever a disaster that wiped out all of our natural resources. 3 Secret Service tactics that are insane. The president's main way of transportation is called the Beast. It's a Cadillac limousine with over 7 tons of armor which is 8 inches thick. It can defend against gunfire and explosives. But it never travels alone. In the line of vehicles, there's a black van that holds the counter-assault team. And in total, there's 12 vehicles that each cost over $1 million. When chefs are cooking food for the president, every single one of their movements is monitored by an agent to make sure they're not poisoning the food. When the president travels, chefs go with him to personally prepare his food. He doesn't eat any food that's gifted to him, and when he buys food at a restaurant, he doesn't actually eat it. It's usually just for a photo. The president gets lots of online threats, and even if it's just a joke, they investigate every single aspect of that person's life. Their neighbors, friends, and employees can all be interviewed. They do this to see how serious the threat is, then decide if they need to take action on the person or not. Here's 3 survival tips that could one day save your life. Starting a fire with almost no resources. All you need is batteries and foil, like a bubblegum wrapper. Just put the foil at the end of the batteries and it will start to heat up and burn. Then once you get a flame, you could use things like Doritos to have a mini fire. Sending an emergency signal. Now that you know how to make a fire, you need a lot of smoke. To produce that, you could use fresh pine and spruce leaves, wet leaves from any other trees, or rubber materials. Another way to send a signal is by using something reflective, like a mirror, CD, metal, and even jewelry. Emergency number. A really handy thing to know is that most cell phones will dial your local emergency number even if you have no SIM card and no service. 3 things Disneyland doesn't want you to know. For a long time, there's been a rumor that some of the bones on the Pirates of the Caribbean ride are from real human skeletons. In 2014, a writer asked an employee about the rumor as he was getting off the ride, and she said the skeleton sitting above the bed in the treasure room contains a real human skull. Underneath Disneyland, there's a massive system of underground tunnels. One of the purposes for the tunnels is to keep the magic alive by hiding the characters when they're not supposed to be seen. Emergency vehicles also use the tunnels to get to their patient while trying to be unseen by the public so they don't kill the vibe. Disneyland strategically releases a vanilla scent through smellitizers which look like speakers. They do this because the scent is proven to calm people down, and it also makes them hungry so they'll spend more money on food. At the main entrance, they use the smell of popcorn. The Haunted Mansion is made to smell musty, and at the Pirates of the Caribbean, they released the scents of wet wood, and sea salt. 3 times animals took revenge on humans. A Russian hunter shot and wounded a Siberian tiger during his hunt. But the tiger didn't forget what had happened, and after a few hours found the place that he lived and waited for him. When he arrived, the tiger killed and ate him. A hunter shot a deer and thought it was dead, but the deer got up and attacked him with his antlers, resulting in 6 stitches to the head. In 2011, a group of hunters killed an elephant in India, but what they didn't expect is that the rest of the herd would take revenge. They destroyed 54 houses in the area, they hid during the day and destroyed everything around them at night. 3 times The Simpsons predicted the future. In a 2012 episode, Lady Gaga performed for the town hanging in midair. 5 years later, she flew off the Houston Energy Stadium roof in real life to perform for the Super Bowl halftime show. In 2008, they showed Homer trying to vote for Barack Obama in the election, but the machine kept changing his vote. 4 years later, a voting machine in Pennsylvania was removed because it kept changing people's votes from Barack Obama to his rival Mitt Romney. Before I tell you the craziest one about Apple, I found this app that gives you a bunch of new fonts. Just press this button on my profile if you want to get it. Finally, in 1994, a school bully wrote "Beat Up Martin" on his Apple Newton, which was a product before the iPhone was made, but it got translated to "Eat Up Martha." A few years later, when making the iPhone keyboard, they added the autocorrect feature, and said it was inspired by this episode of The Simpsons. 4 ways you've been secretly tricked by companies. In the list of ingredients on a product, manufacturers often use the scientific name of certain ingredients to confuse the customer. This way you don't quite understand if the ingredient is healthy or not. Limited time offers are a trick to create a sense of urgency so that you buy the product before the sale ends. But in reality, it's probably not a real offer, or it may never end. Advertising agencies alter the photos of the products they're promoting in order to make them look more eye-catching. In most photos and commercials, they don't even use real food. They use glue for milk, car oil for syrup, and coffee bubbles are actually soap. Companies give a human character to an animal or object to get you to buy their product. It makes them look more adorable and it'll give you the confidence to buy it. Some examples are the Duracell bunny and the Fruit Loops toucan. 5 advertising tricks they don't want you to know. In commercials, they place cardboard in between each pancake to make them look better. And because syrup absorbs quickly, they use engine oil. Ice cream melts quickly under hot studio lights, so instead they use colored mashed potatoes. In commercials for milk, coffee, and beer, they add a liquid soap. It creates a stable foam that looks more appealing. Unlike whipped cream, shaving cream doesn't melt, so they use it on desserts in commercials and movies. Now before I tell you the craziest one, I found this addicting new shooter game. There's tons of weapons to collect, a bunch of different heroes to unlock, and insane boss fights. Just press the button on my profile to get it. Finally, cereal quickly soaks into milk and sinks to the bottom. So they replace the milk with glue so the cereal stays on top and doesn't get soggy. 5 crazy jobs you didn't know exist. Ethical hackers are paid by companies to continuously hack their systems so they can identify and fix their weak points. Blimp drivers fly these around pulling ad banners, and to get this job you need your pilot's license. Private island caretakers showcase them to the world through social media to increase tourism. Food stylists can work for food magazines or even a food manufacturer on their packaging and advertising campaigns. Ice cream testers assess based on flavor, color, and texture, but also help with developing new ones. 5 dream signs you shouldn't ignore. Falling. This means you're overwhelmed and out of control in a situation in your life. Being chased. This means you're avoiding an issue or a person in real life. Flying. This means you're ready to take a bold decision in life. Lost. This means you feel out of place or you're going the wrong direction in life. And finally, being naked in public means you have the fear of being judged. 5 emojis that you've been using wrong. Lots of people think this emoji symbolizes praying, but it's actually a high five. When you first look at this, it looks like a kiss, but it's actually a whistle. The right-facing fist doesn't mean to punch, but is a sign of respect. This emoji is usually used to get people to read what's underneath it, but also symbolizes being under the weather or feeling down. This isn't just a pink ribbon, it's actually the symbol for fighting cancer. 5 people who won the food lottery part 4. This person's watermelon had no seeds. This person got multiple strawberries fused to one. This person got a fry from Arby's shaped as a treble clef. This person got a triple kiwi. And this person found a really long marshmallow. 10 facts you didn't know that could save your life. If your house ever smells like fish for no reason, 9 times out of 10 it's because there's an electrical fire. If you're in a foreign country and you need to call for help but you don't know the emergency number, call 112 and it'll automatically connect you to the nearest helpline. If a tornado looks like it's not moving, it's actually moving towards you. If you ever wake up to the smell of gas, don't turn on a light. A spark from the light switch could blow up your entire house. Lying flat on your back is the best way to survive a falling elevator. If your hair suddenly stands up, duck and cover because you're about to be struck by lightning. If you ever fall off the edge onto the tracks, don't try and crawl back up. There's a crawl space built to go underneath in case this happens. If a deer runs across the road, it's better to hit it than swerve into the ditch. But if it's a moose, then it's better to swerve into the ditch. Because hitting a moose is like hitting a brick wall. Even if you have no service, you can still dial 911. In an emergency, your phone will connect to the nearest tower. If you ever get kidnapped into the back of a vehicle, disconnect the brake light wire so the cops will pull them over, then kick on the door to let them know that you're there. Martha, I'd like to ride in that plane. I know, Joe, but that plane ride costs $10, and $10 is $10. Martha, I'm 71 years old. If I don't ride in that plane this year, I may never have another chance. Joe, that plane ride costs $10, and $10 is $10. I'll make you a deal. I'll give you a ride in the plane, and if you stay quiet, it'll be free of charge. But if you say just one word, it'll be $10. Deal. Man, oh man, I did everything I could think of to get you guys to yell, but you didn't. Well, I was gonna say something when Martha fell out, but $10 is $10. 10 mind-blowing examples of the Mandela effect. The Monopoly Man never had a molecule on his eye. The monkey Curious George never had a tail. The end of Pikachu's tail was never black. Jiffy's peanut butter was never a thing, it's just Jif. One of C-3PO's legs is actually silver. Double stuffed Oreo cookies are spelled with one F. The word fruit in Fruit Loops was never spelled with two O's. The Flintstones is actually spelled with two T's. The Bernstein Bears is actually the Berenstain Bears. And finally, there's never been a hyphen in between the word Kit Kat.
Last time.
It's Luke Davidson. He just hit 10 million followers today. 10 million? Yeah. It was just a dream. Good morning, Luke. I just wanted to congratulate you on 10 million followers. Huh?
Today.
Are you serious? A dream inside of a dream? Good morning, Luke. What? Are you coming to congratulate me on 10 million followers? No. So it was just a dream. I was coming to congratulate you on 10.1 million! What? Every time I lay in bed, I get this terrible fear that there's something underneath. Wow, I've never heard of such a phobia. But like all phobias, it could be treated. It will likely take 20 sessions. Okay, how much is each session? Oh, it's just $80 a session, but trust me, it's well worth it. How come I didn't hear back from you? When I told my husband about the price, he thought he would save some money, so he cut the legs off my bed. I just changed my name on Instagram to no one. Really? Why? So when I see a dumb post, I can like it and it'll say no one liked this.
That's a fact. Every week is Fashion Week for me.
5 places you should never swim. The boiling lake in Dominica is so dangerous that the magma underneath the surface makes the water so hot that you would be swimming in boiling water. Lake Karachay is one of the most toxic lakes on Earth, due to all the toxic waste that the Russian government introduced when toxic materials weren't as big of a problem. The Nile River is filled with crocodiles everywhere that could kill you, and if you manage to escape the crocodiles, you'll have snakes as a second problem. In the river and outside of it, you could probably find at least 15 venomous species. Jacob's Well is a lake located in Texas where you could dive really deep, but you have to be careful because there's caves below where people can get trapped. And lastly, Hanakape Beach has currents so strong that they even keep count of how many deaths there's been to scare people, and the number of people killed is 80. 5 reasons why people think the first moon landing was fake. If Neil Armstrong was the first person on the moon, then who took the picture? Here's a picture of Neil Armstrong's boots on display, and here's a picture of his footprint on the moon. They also wonder how the flag is up if there's no wind on the moon. They think the picture was taken in a studio because there's no stars in the sky. And because he's in a shadow but he's all lit up, people think they used a studio light to take the picture. Here's 5 things that feel illegal but actually aren't. Number 1, calling in sick when you're actually sick. Number 2, leaving a store without buying anything. Number 3, leaving class when the bell rings and not when the teacher dismisses you. Number 4, having your meal returned because they didn't bring you what you asked for. And number 5, asking a salesperson about an item then not buying it. 5 things the Queen has never been able to do. The Queen isn't allowed to grow long nails. She also has to keep her hair neat, and if she wants to wear makeup, it must look natural. The Queen isn't allowed in public without a bodyguard. Each member of the family has up to 5 highly trained armed officers while they're out in public. The Queen can't choose who she wants to speak with at formal dinners. The rule is she must begin speaking with the person on her right, then switch to the person on her left. The Queen has never been allowed to sign her autograph. The whole royal family has been banned from signing autographs for fans in case their signature gets forged later on. And finally, one of the most strict rules is how she's allowed to sit. In particular, she isn't allowed to cross her legs. The Queen must keep her knees together while tilting her legs to the sides. Here's 5 things you didn't know about SpongeBob. There was a replica of the Krusty Krab built in Palestine. The original name for SpongeBob was SpongeBoy Ahoy, but SpongeBoy was copyrighted by a mob company. Tom Kenny, the voice actor for the anchovies, actually inhaled helium from a tank to do the voice. Carolyn Lawrence, the voice actor for Sandy, said she got lots of letters from prison and that was her biggest fan base. Barack Obama said his all-time favorite character is SpongeBob SquarePants because he watched the show with his daughters. Now if you're from America or another country that doesn't have SpongeBob on Netflix, you could click the link in my profile and download the app, then open it and change your location to Canada, and now when you search it up, you could watch it. 5x actors weren't acting. In this scene of Stranger Things when Eleven was fighting possessed Billy, she was so exhausted from filming that she broke character and fell back into Michael's arms. You can even see him look at the producers because he wasn't expecting it. In this episode of Riverdale when Archie rescued Cheryl from the lake, even though he was punching a mat on the ice, he actually broke his hand from hitting so hard. In the movie Bird Box, the actor Sandra Bullock was blindfolded the whole time and she actually couldn't see. So in scenes when she was stumbling around, it was actually real and not acting. In the movie Maleficent, they couldn't find any kids that weren't scared of her, so they ended up using her own child. Her daughter wasn't acting, she was just trying to get her mom's attention. In this episode of Friends, David Schwimmer pranked Jennifer Aniston by pretending to fall down the stairs. She didn't know this was happening, so she actually got scared. Here's 5 world records you didn't know existed. The most toothpicks in a beard. It took Joel 3 hours and 13 minutes to put 3,500 toothpicks in his beard. The longest hair on a teenager, which is 5 feet and 7 inches. The longest hula hoop spun, which is just over 17 feet in diameter. The tallest hat, which is 15 feet and 9 inches. And finally, the largest table tennis bat, which is over 11 feet tall and 6 feet long. Time to get ready for school. I know, I just need like 10 more minutes. Eight things mothers hate. 1. When you go out. 2. When you don't go out. 3. When you eat too much. 4. When you eat too little. 5. When you sleep too much. 6. When you don't sleep enough. 7. When you answer her question. And 8. When you don't answer her question. Animals you should never touch. The sting of the bullet is so painful that it could cause nausea, vomiting, and even heart problems. People who have gotten stung by this ant say the same is similar to if you got shot by a bullet. The catmoth caterpillar looks really friendly, but I would recommend that you don't touch it, because through their hairs they release a poison that can cause vomiting, weakness, and shivering. The Japanese giant hornet is so dangerous that if you touch it, it could kill you. The venom from the stinger can destroy human tissues to the point where it makes you walk with difficulty. Another highly venomous animal is the blue-ringed octopus. If you see one of these, get away quickly, because even though they're small, its venom can result in nausea, respiratory and heart problems, or even death if you don't treat it within a few minutes. And finally, the box jellyfish has been called the most venomous creature in the world. Its venom kills so fast that there's nothing you can do about it. My brother's in jail for something he didn't do. What didn't he do? He didn't run fast enough. April Fool pranks that went way too far. The sales assistant at a store called her boss and told him that the store was being robbed and she was being threatened. Within a few minutes, police cars and helicopters surrounded the store. When she said it was an April Fool's prank, she was arrested and fired from her job. A lady was arrested after calling her daughter and saying she was shot at her home. The daughter called the police, but when 20 police officers arrived, they realized that no one was there and it was just a bad joke. On a radio station in England, the DJ decided to make a joke saying from the cliffs of Beachy Head, a ship very similar to the Titanic could be seen. Tons of people went to the cliff, causing a lot of traffic. A few days later, due to the traffic, a crack opened up the ground and it fell into the sea. Son, you have to work 5 times as hard as you did last year to get a good mark on the exam. But Dad, what? 0 times 5 equals 0. I'm wondering if I could get that bracelet for my girlfriend. Would you like your girlfriend's name engraved on it? Actually, can you put to my one and only love? Yeah, of course. How romantic of you. Not exactly romantic, but this way if we break up, I could use it again. So for this next glitch, you're going to be able to catch people using vents. So if you put the vent on the side of the screen like that in any room, then go to your graphics in the settings, put your resolution to the very bottom and apply it. It'll make the bars on your screen, or these black bars will appear. And then if you put it back to 100%, look at the vent in the right corner, boom, and you could see it. So if you keep doing this, you could catch somebody venting. Dad, what's wrong? Is it true that an apple a day keeps the doctor away? Well, that's what they say. Well, give me an apple quick, cause I just broke the doctor's window. Animals that are bigger than you thought. This is how big horses' lungs are. This is how big a giant leatherback sea turtle is compared to a human. Here's how big a giant African land snail is compared to a hand. Here's how big a blue whale's heart is compared to a human. Here's how big eagle's claws are compared to a hand. And here's how big a saltwater crocodile is. Babe, tell me the news. We're having a baby boy. That's amazing, but we have to call him Luke. Aw, like your grandpa that's always been there for you? No, like Star Wars, so I can say, Luke, I am your father. Bad habits that are actually good for you. Sleeping in. Waking up when your body tells you to wake up rather than your alarm keeps your metabolism up, which means you could eat more food without gaining weight. And people who undersleep are more likely to eat larger portions of junk food. Complaining. Always looking at the bright side of life won't necessarily make you a happier person, but being realistic about the good and bad parts of your life has shown to be better for your mental health. Being messy. People who are messy tend to be more creative, and they found to be 36% more efficient than people who are neat. Dust mites have a hard time living in messy conditions like an unmade bed, so it can also be a good thing for people with allergies.
Look at Mr. Lou's shirt. It looks like he's going golfing. Pretend like you're working.
Why are you guys laughing?
Oh, Luke told me a funny joke.
Oh yeah? What was the joke?
Why did the chicken cross the road? To get to the other side.
I'll let you guys continue your work.